we have a special guest opening up our conference. His name is Cameron Jenkins. He's my new best friend, and he's a great friend to a lot of people. You know him around the country. We're happy to have him. Cameron is he's a consultant. He's an educator. He's a motivator. And you're not going to regret that he is here with us today. And the one thing that I found very quickly about Mr. Jenkins is that his mouth is simply an amplifier for his heart. Cameron, ready?
Hey, my friend.
Go, brother.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm just glad to be here. Happy Saturday to all of my family and friends that's watching live. We're so glad to have you. So glad that you're here. Also want to say thank you. Thank you for giving up a part of your Saturday. Even if you're watching this later, thank you for being a part of this experience. Oh my goodness. Here we go. We're ready to start a new year. And what of a better way to start than right here together as family, as music educators. Doesn't matter your category or your caption. We are glad that you are here. We want to say thank you for pulling away just for a little bit to spend some time with us so that we can get ready, so that we can get set, and so that we can going back into the classroom full of energy, fully alive, and all the innovation and excitement that comes in with teaching. We're able to do that all together, supporting each other, walking hand in hand. So I want to say thank you. Also want to say, as we continue down the line, I want to know from you. Just let me know in the chat. Somebody tell me in the chat. Let me know who is the best cook in your family. I want to know that. I want to know who is the best cook in your family. I know we got music educators all over the place, but I want to know who is the best cook in your family. Give them a shout out right now in the chat. And if it's not you, come on now, don't be selfish. Don't hold back. I want you to let me know who is the best cook in your family. My family that lives in Louisiana, they say it's me, baby. That's what they would say. Dr. Irvin, they say it's me, baby. If you are the best cook in your family, I want to know. Hands down, in my family, my wife is the best cook in our family. But there are some things that she's not going to touch when it comes to cooking. A lot of it is outdoors. So when it comes to grilling, she's going to put that on me, BJ, when it comes to grilling. And when it comes to boiling crawfish, that's going to be on me. Speaking of crawfish, since we're in Louisiana, I know you guys will understand where I'm coming from here. This is an actual picture from my house of a crawfish boil that we had this spring. And Dr. Irvin, I wanted to create the best crawfish boil ever, like for my family that we've ever had. And so in order to do that, Rachel, you know what I did. I watched every YouTube video that I could. I mean, every YouTube video about how to boil some good crawfish. And Damon, I got more and more confused as I watched these videos, because one person would say boil for this long, then turn the pot off. One person would say, well, your cool down's got to look like this, and one person would say that, and one person would say the other. And Trevor, by the end of it, I had no idea which direction I was going with my crawfish. And then finally I said, you know what, let me ask some people that I trust. It's kind of like band directors. We reach out to the people we trust, our mentors, the people that have gone down the road in front of us. I said, let me pause and get some people in here that I really trust and really tell me the right thing. So I called up one of my good friends who is he's from Thibodaux, Louisiana. I knew he would know exactly how to make some really good crawfish. And lo and behold, we worked together, same campus. And so I got a chance to call him. I said, man, listen, tell me, how do I make my crawfish really taste good? And he told me something, BJ, I will never forget. He said, you know what, Cameron, you need to season your ice. I said, what? Season my what? I said, man, he's playing a trick on me. He said, no. If you learn the technique of seasoning your ice, then your crawfish will go to a whole nother level. Like the taste and the flavor will be exponentially better than anything that you ever had. I said, oh my goodness, how in the world do I season my ice? And a friend, I thought he was playing a joke on me, but he was for real. He was telling me, said, Cameron, okay, you're going to boil your crawfish up, and then you're going to put ice on them to cool them down. Now, if you're from Louisiana and you know how to boil crawfish, let me know if I'm on the right track. If I'm on the right track, that you have to cool them down at some point. Just let me know I'm in the right vein. He said, but when you cool them down, when you ice them down, it's smarter to have your seasoning in your ice. Create your own ice so that when you add them to your crawfish, you're not diluting the seasoning that you put in this pot because you added all this water. He said, what you need to do, my friend, Eric is agreeing with me. He said, say it louder for the people in the back. He said, what you need to do is learn how to season your ice. Okay, so just go with me. Just go with me. Even if you don't eat crawfish, just hang on to this knowledge because this is called infusing your flavors. Infusing. So just real quick, just go with me. Just go with me. He tells me, he said, look, get your flavors, get everything you're going to get. Make sure you got a little garlic, a little bell pepper, a little onion, whatever else you want to add to it. He said, then you're going to cook that 2 days before your crawfish boil. You're going to cook it, put it on your pot, boil it up, and then you're going to add just a sampling of your seasoning. Not the whole thing, but some of your seasoning, some of your flavors, you're going to add it in. You're going to add it in as you're boiling just your vegetables, just your veggies. So I'm boiling my veggies. He said, then when you get weak and they're ready, he said, put them in a blender. You're going to put them in a blender. You're going to blend them up. And then you're going to take that and you're going to put them in some plastic Tupperware. I was like, okay, all right. I'm following you. All right. Keep talking to me, brother. Keep talking to me. And then you're going to put in this Tupperware. He said, then you're going to take that Tupperware and you're going to freeze it for at least 24 hours. Somebody that's on here right now, somebody's watching this later, you're thinking, oh my goodness, I'm from Louisiana. I hadn't done that yet, Cameron. I'm trying that. You better believe that. I came on here to learn about music education, but I'm definitely trying this technique. He said, then when you freeze your ice, you're going to take that ice and you're going to dump it onto your crawfish after they've come up to a nice boil. Rachel, you my sister, my friend. Rachel saying that's next level. That's what it's all about. This seasoning, my frozen corn and my frozen seasoned ice made all the difference in the world because instead of diluting the taste, I was adding to it. This pandemic has put us in a position, my brothers, my sisters, my friends, where right now we don't need to water down what we're doing. In fact, we just need to be innovative and creative and come up with a better way, a better approach of how to make sure we have the same music education experience, whether we're in person or whether we do this thing for 5 weeks and we get shut down for 2 weeks. It doesn't matter how we go about this. Oh my goodness, it is our job to make sure we're getting the best flavors, the best experiences for our students, because it's not about us. It's about the kids that we teach. It's about seeing them in 10 years and they're able to walk up to us and say, because of your class, I was able to be a better mom, a better dad. I was able to be a better coworker, a better friend because I learned how to work together in choir, in band, in strings and orchestra. I learned the techniques that I need of how to cooperate, how to work together collectively because of my experience in the arts. Friend, it's our job to make sure that we're adding in the flavor and not taking away. Now, I got to be honest with you. Rachel, Eric, BJ, Trevor, I got to be honest with you. Dr. Tim, this took a lot. This took a lot of prep work to get my ice seasoned. As a matter of fact, it reminded me of this quote from Abe Lincoln. Says this: give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I will spend the first 4 sharpening my axe. Friend, that's what you're doing right now on this Saturday morning. Those of you that's watching this later, that's exactly what you're doing in this very moment. Every session you go to today, every video that you watch in the replay, every piece of note that you take down, all of this collectively is sharpening your axe. And the 6 hours that you have to get ready for this year, I'm so glad that you're spending the first 4 getting the axe sharp. Because friend, with a sharp axe, every time you swing and hit and make contact, you're making progress. But a dull axe, you can be out there for hours trying to chop down one tree. I always think of it this way. I'm born and raised in Ruth, Mississippi. That's right. I'm country, and I received that. Some of you can hear it in my accent and my voice. I say it this way. I am more country than a row of sweet potatoes, and I'm okay with that. living in the country taught me a lot about work ethic. One of the things that taught me is my dad. We would chop down and cut down our wood in the summertime, and then we would store it up in like a woodshed so to be ready for the winter. Some of you know what I'm talking about. I see you resonating with that right now. So cut in the summer, prep it in the summer. It's ready to go and dry it out and ready to be in the fireplace in the winter. But I never forget, Roberto, that when we got ready, when the time came for us to go, and we knew next day we were going to go out there and be ready and be prepared for chopping down the trees. My dad would spend that whole day prepping his saws. I mean, literally, like getting them sharp, getting them ready to go. And I never forget one particular summer, we were in a rush, we were in a hurry, and he skipped that step one particular summer. And friend, that next day, we were all day trying to cut down the same amount of trees we could have cut down in about 4 hours because the blade was dull. What about you? Have you taken the opportunities this summer? We've had presentations and we've had webinars. We've had all kind of things happening right here in the Music Education Association. Have you taken advantage of all the good webinar, all the good content that has come together in this association to help you sharpen your axe? I hope so. Because I've been listening in even from District 10. Friend, I want to help you today. I want to help you with this, and that is I want to help you to season your ice. You may want to write this down if you're taking notes. How do I season my ice, Cameron? How do I get my ice as a teacher, as an educator? How do I make sure I'm not watering it down? How do I make sure I'm keeping a kick on my seasoning? There's a little spice to it. It's good. It's a good taste. How do I make sure the flavors are there? Number one, it comes in through innovation. Write that down. ICE, if we can use this as a layout, as a framework. I stands for innovation. You have to be innovative. You got to figure out what is a new way for me to do this thing that I've known for all these years. Well, what is a new way? How can I approach this? I love the people in our profession that when we were shut down for the pandemic, they immediately rushed to figure out how can I be innovative in this moment? Yes, I cannot do X, Y, and Z, but I can do something. And what is that something? And how do I maximize that something? I'm so proud of my friends who happen to be sponsors here this weekend. My friends at Selmer, they got together and they figured out, we can't get together in the summer of 2020 because of the pandemic. What can we do? And so they came up with this virtual conference. So CSI is virtual, and it was absolutely phenomenal. It was phenomenal last year, and it was even more phenomenal this year. You can't do everything, friend, but you can do something. And the something that you can do, you can be innovative. So there's a show called Cook versus Con. Let me know in the chat. Have you ever seen this show, Cooks versus Con? I just want to see where my family, where you are. Let me see if you're watching, if you know what's going on here. Cooks versus Con. If you've seen it, just give me a yes. If you haven't seen it, say I haven't seen it yet. I encourage you to at least watch one episode because some things are going to resonate with you, even if you only watch one episode. BJ, I encourage you, friend, just watch at least one episode, Sharon, yeah, I see you, my friend. Brenda, just one episode, catch one episode if you can. Here's why. This particular show, they bring in 4 guests. I want you to imagine this. They bring in 4 guests, and the 4 guests can cook. They can cook something, at least. They can cook something. But 2 of them are professional cooks. Imagine that, Trevor. 2 of them are professional cooks, and 2 of them are cons. They just, they faking it till they make it, so to speak. But Noah, here's the catch to it. What makes the show so interesting is that they give them ingredients that don't make any sense. I mean, it's like crazy stuff that you would never put together. And you have to take these ingredients, and sometimes it's already processed food or processed things, and you have to pull them together and make it into something new. And Eric, it's a show that really just, it makes you just scratch your brain. Some of the things that they put together, like here in the picture, this show was about berries. So they had some dried berries. They had some fresh strawberries. They even had a blueberry muffin that you had to figure out, how do you make a 5-star meal using ingredients that doesn't make sense? It's kind of like being a band director. You got to figure out, how do I make this concert piece sound good, and I don't have this full instrumentation. I'm missing some things. So you got to become creative in the cooking process, in the rehearsal process, in the planning process, rewrite some parts, move some things around. How do I get this same feel, this same timbre, this same sound when I don't have all the pieces? Or the pieces that I do have, I mean, it's just like real strawberries and a blueberry muffin, but I got to make a meal out of it. And so in the process of time, these cooks, they go all in and they create the most gorgeous meals you've ever seen using materials that just doesn't make sense. I want to pause right here and I want to give a shout out to every single music educator that's on live right now. And even those that's watching this later, I want to give a shout out to you for making gorgeous music in situation and circumstances that just doesn't make sense. I want to know in the chat, I want to know from you, in the last year and a half, what are some things that's been thrown at you that just has not made sense? What are some things that your administrators came to you and say, oh, by the way, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this? I just want to know. This is a safe space we can share with each other. I want you to tell me in the chat, what are some ingredients that's been added to the mix of your meal that you were not expecting? I just want to know. I want to hear from you on this morning. What are some of those things that, oh, well, by the way, I can't do but 30 minutes of rehearsal now. Oh, well, we can't rehearse in the band hall now. Oh, well, it's now they're telling me I have to do X, Y, and Z. All of these ingredients that, guess what, my friend? We never learned this when we were in college in our music education classes. Brett, they never told us that we would have to teach band 6 feet apart or 3 feet apart or wear a mask the entire time. They never told us X, Y, and Z would be thrown into the mix. Wow. My friend Robert, yeah, how do we do band without instruments? My friend Rachel, only 3 students in one classroom at a time. Wow. I can't even play inside, Eric, until March. Wow. Janae, I hope I'm saying your name right. No breathing exercises in the mask. That's right, Damon. How in the world are we going to pull this together for our beginners? When only they can do things at home and nothing at school with the instrument. Friends, I feel you. I feel exactly where you're coming from. Leah, I understand exactly what you mean. Masks, bell covers, playing outside 6 feet, 9 feet apart. Yeah, I hear your heart, friend. I'm walking right there with you. But here's what I know. You can make a beautiful meal. You can bring some creative things together through innovation, if only you're willing and courageous enough to try something new. And you know what? When you try something new, it brings open a whole nother level of possibility. Here's one more thing I want to ask you before we move to the next slide. And that is this. This is me stepping into your business for the first time this morning. And I'm doing it because I'm your brother and your friend. I want to know from you, what is that one thing that you're going to take with you out of this pandemic? What's one thing? I don't know. It may be a new resource. It may be a new piece of technology. What is one thing that you are going to take with you going into the next year? Or maybe the next 3 years as an educator? What is that one thing? I want you to share, because as you share in the chat, it may be something that someone has never considered, and innovation happens when we are working together and having this kind of conversation. As a matter of fact, that is the next letter in ICE. It is collaboration. It's missing an N right there, so please excuse me. Blame it on my secretary, which is me. Collaboration. My friend, Dr. William Irvin, he would be so excited about this particular part of the conversation, because he would say collaboration is key. So I want you to collaborate. Even now in the chat, I want you to share your thing. What is your thing? What is your thing that you're taking with you beyond this pandemic, beyond this particular moment? Maybe it's using more technology in the classroom, perhaps. Maybe it's reaching out to more people via Zoom, bringing in a special guest. Isn't it so cool? We can bring in somebody like Dr. Tim virtually. He doesn't have to get on a plane. He doesn't have to travel. My friend is with us right here, right now, today. Man, that warms my heart. What are the things that you are bringing with you outside of the pandemic? You know, one of the things that I would bring with me as an educator is how can I maximize the technology, the resources that's out there? You know, like this thing like music professor. How do I take all of these educators teaching students how to play scales, how to get them ready from getting the instrument out of the case? You know, sometimes I can say it one way and they can hear from somebody else, and BJ, they go, ah, yeah, that's what you meant the whole time, Mr. Jenkins. Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell you. This is how your reed goes on the back of your clarinet mouthpiece, but they had to hear from somebody else. Andy, I'm excited because now I can just send them to a video, and the video is reinforcing them from how to put the instrument together in the case to how to prepare for etudes and presentations and being ready to play in front of their college auditions. Shout out to all the colleges and universities that's on with us this morning. Friend, whatever your thing is, thank you for sharing. My thing and your thing may be different, but you know what? If we collaborate and talk together and work together, we're adding season to our ice. Okay, I got a picture up here. I'm going to explain my picture. Okay, BJ, let me explain my picture. My picture is that when you collaborate, you're working as a team. You're working as a team. Now, I've noticed something, Rachel, that some people say that they're working as a team and they're actually lying. Yeah, they actually lying. No, they're not working as a team. It's a working group. It's a working group. Yeah, this part of the group goes off and do their thing. This part of the group goes off and do their thing. And then we bring it all together as a presentation. Boom, we call that a team. No, a team dynamic is I cannot do my part without you, and you cannot do your part without me. And when I think of a team, I think about a basketball team, right? Basketball team, because there's a short guy on the basketball team and there's a tall guy on the basketball team. Now, both of them have strengths and both of them have limitations. All right, let's talk real quick because we family, we love each other, we can talk. The tall person. Let me know in the chat. What do you say? What are some strengths for the tall person? Yeah, let's go ahead because I'm not that tall person. I have some height challenges, but that's okay. I have my strengths too. But the tall person, what would you say? Let me know in the chat. What would you say? What are some of the strengths of the tall person? What's some of the strengths? And then while you're at it, I also want to know what are some of the limitations of this tall person? What are some of the limitations of the tall person on the team? Yeah, you're probably thinking some of the same things I'm thinking. And I'm thinking right now, you know, that tall person, that tall guy, yeah, he can probably get most of the rebounds. Yeah, absolutely. Carolyn says, you're exactly right. She said, yeah, he's going to be closer to the goal. You're exactly right. Give it to him. Boom, we're in. That's right, Noah. That's right. Listen, that tall person has a lot of advantages. But guess what? Rachel also has some limitations. The tall guy is not going to run up and down the court as quickly and as fast. He's going to run out of steam pretty fast in the game. What about the shorter guy? What about the shorter guy? The shorter guy in this equation. You know what? His strength is he's flexible. He can get in and out of quick situations. Yeah, and because of his strength, he's able to complement in collaboration the weakness, the limitation of the tall guy. And then vice versa. The tall guy is able to complement being right under the goal for the short guy that would never be able to have that height advantage. So they complement and collaborate with each other. This is me stepping into your business for the second time on this Saturday morning, and it's only because you're my friend and I love you. How many people in the music education world are you collaborating with that they answer the question of a strength that you don't have? They fill in the gap. They fill in the puzzle piece to something that you need. I don't want you to be stingy. I don't want you to be selfish. Right now, I want you to give them a shout out. Say, Cameron, these are the people I collaborate with because they have a strength that fits perfectly with my limitation. They have an area of strength that just like a hand in a glove, it works perfectly for what I need. While you're putting that shout out, my good friend Marcus is with us. He is a part of my brotherhood and my collaboration team that he answers, and he and Dr. Jack Eady and Dr. William Murphy, they answer the strength and weakness element for me. And friend, that's just me letting you in my business because I've been in yours twice this morning. I'm just telling you, your year goes better when you have some people to collaborate with. Let me say one more thing while you shouting out the people in the chat that's a part of your collaboration team. Shout them out. Let them know. Don't be stingy. Don't be selfish. Don't hold back. Let us know who you collaborate with, who is helping to facilitate and fill in the gaps for your strengths and weaknesses throughout your career. And while you're doing it, I just want to give a little plug right here and say, look, this same thing is true. This same thing is true for the size of your band program. Those of you that know me, you know I categorize band programs into 3 different sizes. Just go along with me for the sake of conversation. We have rabbit size band programs, tiger size, and elephant size. Rabbit size, tiger size, and elephant size. And you know what? I've learned over the space and time that it is okay for you to be the director of a rabbit size program, because the rabbit size program, they have the agility and the flexibility. They can change something on a dime. If they get a call from the administrator and say, hey, look, we need the band tomorrow at 3 o'clock, you're not going to freak out. But if you got an elephant size program and it's 200 plus members in your band, oh my goodness, you are having a panic attack. Some of you doing it right now. You're having a panic attack if the administrators call you 12 hours beforehand that you got to have the band ready to go the next day. Friend, I can tell you this. I can definitely tell you this, that there is strengths and limitations for the rabbit size, the tiger size, and the elephant size. But you know what's beautiful in music education? You know what makes my heart just turn cartwheels, Miss Brenda? What really gets me excited, Dr. Edie, is when I begin to see the tiger size, rabbit size, and elephant size band programs collaborating. That's what you're doing right now. That's why you're here this weekend. That's why you're watching the replays. It's so that you can collaborate together, one with another. And I love it. It's a beautiful thing. Okay. Let me rush on to the close here. The last one would be education. Education is when you spend time to invest in yourself, to fill your bucket back up so that it is full and it is overflowing. You know the saying, and it's true. You can't give from an empty bucket. But I also challenge that. My good friend and brother, Dr. Scott Egger, he would say, you know what? Before you start pouring water into your bucket, let's make sure you don't have any holes or cracks or scarring that's creating leaks in your bucket. Let's make sure that we have a solid bucket to pour into. Friend, I hope that you are taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, and even educationally, that you never stop learning. I wish somebody would put in the chat that leaders are learners. Just put that in the chat. Leaders are learners, because it's so true. It's so true. You are leading your program. You're leading your choir. You're leading your band. You're leading your orchestra. You're leading your department. You're leading your division of the company. And in order for you to lead, the qualifier is you have to maintain a steady stream of learning. Leaders are learners. So you got to be constantly bringing in that information, constantly going to the fountains and filling up your bucket from other people. And you know, you got to give more than you take. So as much as you're giving, you got to be giving it back out. But friend, you can't miss the important part of receiving, of taking it in. This is the schedule for this weekend. I'm so excited about it. This is the schedule for today. And you better believe I'm going to be at these sessions filling up my bucket, one presenter after the next, after the next, after the next. It's so many of my friends that's on this roster that I can't start calling names because I know I'm going to get in trouble. So I'm going to say it like my friend would say. Lottie, Dottie, and everybody that's presenting today, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for having your buckets full so that you can pour in to us. And we're going to pay it back. We're going to pay it forward. Just lean on us anytime that you need to. And we'll be glad to keep this thing of learning, of education, keep this thing alive, because we need it so that we're better prepared to stand in front of our students. Well, friends, you know how to make your ice season now. You know how to be innovative. You know how to be collaborative with your colleagues. And you know how to always be learning as an educator. I want to end our time today with a real story from my good friend, Christopher Chandler, right here in Geaux, Mississippi. And you know that's how that's pronounced. That's one of those Cajun things, Brett. I know you on here with me. That's one of those Cajun things where it's pronounced Gauche, right? Right. So not too far from me. I had the privilege and the honor to work with the student leaders there at Gauche High School. And I mean, we had a fabulous time. I mean, we were just on like cloud 10, and the students were engaged, and even the directors did the activities with the students. And I mean, it was just a full day of student leadership, which is my jam. That's my strength. You know, you're talking about the basketball team. That's my jam. Now, I can't do the other stuff. Teach you how to play the oboe. I can get you started, but all the techniques, I had to call in my friends. But leadership, oh my goodness, I can talk about it all day long. And we had such a beautiful time and experience. And so it got them ready for their camp. Everybody was ready to go Monday, kicking off camp. Boom. They come to camp on Monday. And they didn't know it. They didn't know it. Lo and behold, somebody that was there had, sickness. And that sickness spread throughout the band. And you know what happened? They got shut down for the next 10 days. So you're planning for this camp, and then the next 10 days, they're shut down because of the rule of 3. And my good friend and my brother, Christopher Chandler, I'm so proud of him, so proud of his leadership. He took the opportunity to say, you know what? We can't do everything, but we can do something. He took this opportunity, Rachel. You know what he did? He became innovative. He collaborated with his team. This is an actual picture from his Facebook of his team together, working together, figuring out what they can do for their students. The next week, they had the first ever virtual band camp. That full week, that solid week, they learned how to march. They learned how to get the music down. They learned how to do all of these things virtually. Students were making TikTok videos, Leah, and all of this kind of stuff that will be a part of their educational bank for years to come. And because of an ingredient that they didn't see coming, because of strawberries and blueberry muffins being put on the same ingredient table, but making a 5-star meal. Let me tell you something about this band. Oh my goodness. You know, my heart is leaping up and down. They accomplished so much in the short time that they had. They only had 3 days before school was actually kicking and going. So instead of a 2-week camp, it was condensed down to a virtual camp followed by 3 days. But in 3 days, according to my good friend, Brother Chandler, that's their schedule there. They rehearsed all day those 3 days. And even at night, they had parents, Dr. Tim, you would love this. The parents came the first night and realized these kids can't see. So you know what the parents did, Dr. Tim? They turned on the headlights so that the students could see. And the next day, because somebody knew somebody that called somebody, the mayor of Gauche had lights brought into their campus, and boom, the parking lot was lit up at night. Because you can't do everything, but you can do something. If your ice has season on it, friends, it's going to make the difference, all the difference in the world. I'm proud of them just as much as I am proud of you. I want you to know that I am so thankful to call you my sister, my brother, and my friends. I'm excited about what you're going to create this year, the meals that you're going to create out of some strange ingredients. And Damon, I want you to know that as you create those meals, friend, I'm with you. I'm shouting with you. I'm cheering with you all along the way. I'm over here in District 10, the district I made up. But listen, all of my other friends that's in District 10 outside of your state, we are cheering for you. We are proud of you. We're proud of what you're doing. We love you, and there's nothing you can do about that. Thank you for giving your time. Thank you for giving your energy. Thank you for being here today to fill your bucket up. Family and friends, I can't wait to see you in the next session. Next session starts at 10. If you're watching this in the replays, it'll start in 10 seconds, I guess, because you can click on to the next video. We love you. We're proud of you. Thank you again to all of my friends at the Louisiana Music Education Association. Thank you to my friend Brett for pulling this thing together. Thank you to my friend Dr. William J. Irvin for the invitation. I love you guys. Have an awesome rest of your day. I'll see you in a room real soon. Until then, bye.